In 1 week's time, Dragon Ball Super Chapter 59 is going to be dropping, featuring the Goku versus Moro battle that we've been anticipating for quite some time, with Goku tapping into Ultra Instinct at will. Well, we have some draft pages that have been released, as they've been for the past couple of chapters, on the official Dragon Ball 30th anniversary page online, that are sort of a preview or a teaser for the upcoming chapter coming out soon. Now, as I always say when I cover these are unfinished drafts. The final version will look very different. So I want to make a quick point here before we go any further, and that is that in the majority of these drafts, Goku's hair is not colored in. Now, some folks are probably going to look at that and assume that that means that Toyotaro is trying to illustrate that Goku is in mastered Ultra Instinct, but that is not true. Goku is still using his Omen form based on everything that we know. Now, I cannot guarantee that, but it appears to be the case that he just hasn't been able to color in the darkness yet. That's just how it is a lot of times with these manga authors, and a lot of times they have an actual assistant do it. You know, with Toriyama, back in the day, his assistant would color in Goku's hair and the dark hair and whatnot, which is why he even came up with Super Saiyan, because he wanted the assistant to not get so tired coloring in Goku's hair. That's from Toriyama himself, by the way, said that. I covered that in my transformation guide for Super Saiyans. Check that video out if you haven't. But I want to go through this manga chapter preview here, featuring Goku versus Moro, and it appears like this fight is probably not going to end with this manga chapter. I think we're going to get more stuff. The fight will continue, I think, onto the next chapter. So this, of course, was translated by Google Translate, which is not very accurate, but essentially just says, you know, hey, we're going to show you what's coming in chapter 59, the beginning part of it. So this was kind of the end of the last chapter, with Goku using Ultra Instinct Omen at will, or Ultra Instinct Sign, and of course, Moro's freaking out over it. I like how it says Moro activates the self-confidence trillion, which is basically Ultra Instinct Omen, the name of the selfish secret. That's just bad translations is what it is. So selfish secret is like the secret of selfishness, which is one of the translations for Ultra Instinct. Remember, Migate no Gokui, Master of Self Movement, has several translations. I did a whole video with Herms about it called The Meaning of Ultra Instinct. So we begin here with a shot of 7-3, and I do have translations for this. Basically, it says that Shimoreka brought 7-3 back to Moro's ship. By the way, thanks to Dragon Ball Hype for this. And notices that it seems like that Saiyan has arrived. 7-3 reacts with what? The Saiyan is not Vegeta, which is what I originally thought when I read this. He's not on Earth yet. It's Goku. And then that's how we cut to Goku here, powered up in Ultra Instinct. And you know, it basically says there here, as some spaceships are passing by, he realizes that all of their friends have been caught and wonders what happened down on Earth. Piccolo, we're going to get to the Piccolo part here in a minute, but he's right there actually, and it says that he's surprised that Goku's able to transform, activate Ultra Instinct Omen at will. And Moro is still surprised, saying that he, right here in this panel, that he is surprised that Goku was able to use Technique of the Gods. And that's basically what this is, Ultra Instinct. You know, he knows, Moro knows about the technique. Probably doesn't know too much about it, but he knows enough, you know what I'm saying, to where he's able to figure this out. And this is, a lot of this is just kind of build up, you know, stuff that we've seen in Dragon Ball Z tons of times, and in Dragon Ball, you know, kind of slow, sort of, not super slow, but just, you know, kind of build up. And so basically what happens is, Piccolo talks about how this fight right here is going to determine the fate of the Earth or the entire universe. Because, of course, if Moro is let loose, he'll be sucking up the whole planets, all the planets, and here we go. Now, then Goku does this move right here, as you can see, where he kind of cocks his fist back, and it actually hits Moro on the side, like on the shoulder. We haven't seen that before. And Piccolo is talking about, wow, that's a very interesting way of attacking. Jocko then explains, which we're going to get to here, because you can see right here, it's like Goku is like kind of moving his arms really fast without actually coming in close on Moro. He's hitting him from a long distance. It's a long range attack, right? And he's actually pounding Moro in the chest and shoulders. And then down here, of course, is where Jocko says, you know, that, or Piccolo wonders about this technique, and then Jocko says that it's probably the wind pressure. As he's moving his fist with high speed, it creates wind pressure, which he attacks. We've seen that before. If you remember, during the first part of the Vegito versus Majin Buu fight, Buhan, whatever, he does this thing where he kind of flicks his wrist forward, and like a piece of wind actually cuts Buu's face. You know, I love when they do stuff like that. It's been a while since we've seen it. And Moro says that the attack is very clever, is what he says here. I just love how this looks. I can't wait to see the final version because Ultra Instinct Omen Goku is not only knowledgeable in what Ultra Instinct is, but also has probably developed some new techniques. Remember, he's been in the Room of Spirit and Time for I think it was 3 months with Mirror, so he may have learned more than just Ultra Instinct while he was in there. Now, moving on here, this art is a bit darker, a bit more shaded, but ultimately Moro does his move where he creates an explosion from the ground, which we've seen him do before, to try to blow up Goku. But Goku escapes. Goku actually dodges it and jumps in the air, and as you can see right here, Goku goes up. Here's Goku going up, and then if you scroll down, or I'm going to scroll down for you, Moro starts firing ki blasts in the air. So, he's basically firing these very, very fast. We're talking about way, 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 way beyond the speed of light. As you know, Dragon Ball characters have kind of been past the speed of light for a long time. And Goku, gets out of the way or whatever. Let's move on to the next one. And then here we have the blast going at Goku. But Goku appears to be dodging the blast, but not dodging them in a sense to where he's like flying around in circles and things like that. He's actually like sort of dodging him with the Ultra Instinct dodge, you know what I'm saying? Where he's able to kind of do what appears to be sort of like a version of the Zanzoken, of the after image technique, but it's Ultra Instinct. He's able to move very, very fast to avoid these blasts, which of course catches Moro he's caught off guard. And then now Goku's about to counterattack by flying towards Moro. And here we actually see him colored in. So this bottom panel takes place after the top ones. That's how you know it's probably not the gray or silver haired mastered Ultra Instinct or whatever. It's white hair, whatever. It is, in fact, Omen. So that's pretty much it. That is the preview for the manga chapter coming out next week. There have been some talks about some delays. Shonen Jump is being delayed. We've heard stories about that. I don't have any confirmation on what's going to happen with coronavirus, but the pandemic and how it's going to affect this. But as of right now, V Jump magazine, which is the magazine that features Dragon Ball Super's manga, is still scheduled to come out. So don't worry about us missing this chapter because it still says here it's coming out. So that is pretty much it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this preview, this fight. I don't think Goku's going to beat Moro, but the fight has begun. So I am curious here. I love this panel right here. Let me know what you think. Toyotaro doing a pretty decent job, and let's see what happens. And I'm still expecting Vegeta to show up in the next 3 chapters. Let me know in the comments when you think he's going to show up. But overall, it looks to be an action-packed manga chapter coming up next. Thank you. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.